And you're tuned into the Weekend Jazz Update to Jashan De Silva. On this week's episode, it's about Fletcher Henderson, his biography, and best hits. During this hour, we're going to be talking about more of his best compositions of all time. Here's a quick recap of what's coming up. First up, King Porter Stomp. Originally by Jelly Roll Morton, Henderson transformed it into a Harlem dancehall sensation. Brass and reed sections trade call and response riffs. Tight ensemble hits drive the rhythm. It's energetic, propulsive, and a blueprint for swing. Benny Goodman later recorded it, cementing its place in jazz history. Next up, Down South Camp Meeting from 1928, blending folk and spiritual influences with big band sophistication. Ensemble counterpoints, swinging rhythms, and expressive solos capture the joyful communal energy of Southern church gatherings. Henderson turned tradition into innovation, showing how jazz could tell a story without words. Then there's I Got Rhythm, Henderson's 1933 arrangement of Gershwin's classic. Call and response riffs, driving tempos, layered textures turn a Broadway hit into a big band swing staple, full of joy and improvisational flair. Finally, Sugarfoot Stomp showcases early big band orchestration, polyphonic textures, and playful rhythms, a perfect dance number that helped define Henderson's signature swing sound. And this is the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan De Silva. On this week's episode, it's about Fletcher Henderson, his biography, and best hits. During this hour, we're going to be talking about some of his best compositions. So let's kick things off with King Porter Stomp. Now this one's a masterclass in big band arranging. Originally a Jelly Roll Morton composition, Henderson took it and transformed it into a swing-era dance floor staple. The title alone hints at its energy, a rhythmic stomp that perfectly matches the drive of Harlem's ballrooms in the early 1930s. Henderson's arrangement features brilliant call and response riffs between brass and reeds, tightly arranged ensemble hits, and well-paced solos that give musicians room to improvise. Syncopation, layered textures, harmonic sophistication make this piece both technically dazzling and irresistibly danceable. It's a story of communal excitement and momentum, capturing the vibrancy of a night out in Harlem. And historically, this arrangement influenced Benny Goodman and countless swing orchestras, cementing Henderson's role in big band innovation. Next up, we move to Down South Camp Meeting from 1928. Here, Henderson blends traditional folk and spiritual music with jazz orchestration. Inspired by Southern African American church camp gatherings, the piece captures communal joy and celebratory energy. Brass and reed sections weave intricate counterpoints, while swinging rhythms drive the ensemble forward. Solo sections offer improvisational freedom, reflecting the spirit of early jazz and spirituals. Dynamic contrasts evoke dance, movement, and sheer joy, almost like hearing a story unfold without words. Henderson's genius lies in transforming folk-based music into orchestrated swing, bridging cultural roots with urban sophistication. This tune shows us why jazz could be both expressive and accessible, and its influence rippled through the swing era, shaping future arrangers' approaches. Then there's I Got Rhythm, Henderson's 1933 arrangement of George Gershwin's Broadway hit. The original already celebrated joy and rhythm, but Henderson cranked it up for the big band. Brass and reed straight riffs in lively call and response patterns, while soloists get moments to shine with improvisational flair. Henderson adds harmonic depth and layered textures, turning a Broadway tune into a swing powerhouse. The arrangement reflects Harlem's early 1930s jazz scene, where small ensemble energies translate into orchestral brilliance. Every note practically bounces with exuberance and optimism, capturing the spirit of the song without lyrics. It's no wonder that this arrangement influenced Benny Goodman and became a staple in the swing repertoire. Classic Henderson blending technical mastery with pure infectious joy. Finally, let's talk about Sugarfoot Stomp from 1925. One of Henderson's early orchestral jazz pieces. Originally inspired by King Oliver, Henderson's arrangement added structural riffs, sectional dialogue, and rhythmic sophistication, essentially moving small group hot jazz into the big band era. The title suggests playful movement, and the music is in like vein. Polyphonic textures, interacting brass and reeds, and solos that give musicians room to shine. Henderson balances spontaneity with orchestral cohesion, telling a story through the dynamics and phrasing, capturing energy, fun, and the excitement of a packed dance floor. Historically, this arrangement had set the blueprint for swing, showing Henderson's pioneering approach to big band orchestration. So there you have it, Henderson at his best. King Porter Stomp, Down South Camp Meeting, I Got Rhythm, and Sugarfoot Stomp. Each composition tells a story through rhythm, harmony, and orchestration, shaping the sound of big band jazz and inspiring generations of musicians. And there was some insight into more of Fletcher Henderson's best compositions, and this is the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan De Silva. On this week's episode, it's about Fletcher Henderson, his biography, and best hits. Now it's time for some trendy music news. So there are 5 essential jazz albums that hit perfectly during the holiday season. Number 1, Ella Fitzgerald's Christmas. This one is pure class. Ella's voice wraps every carol in warmth and swing, backed by lush orchestration that feels like vintage holiday glamour. A Charlie Brown Christmas by the Vince Guaraldi Trio. Cool piano lines, gentle swing, and that unmistakable West Coast vibe makes it reflective, cozy, and emotional without being heavy. Number 3, an Oscar Peterson Christmas. Peterson's piano brings virtuosity and sophistication. It's festive jazz for listeners who love brilliance with warmth. Number 4, Christmas Cookin' by Jimmy Smith. This one's grooves, Hammond organ, bluesy swagger, and soul jazz energy turn holiday standards into late-night candlelit vibes. And number 5, Merry Christmas Baby by Charlie Brown. Smooth, blues-infused and intimate, this album is perfect for slow evenings and quiet moments, blending jazz, blues and holiday romance. And there was some trendy music news on the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashanti Silva. We're going for a short break, we'll be right back after that. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some of Fletcher Henderson's best compositions of all time. Stay tuned. And you're tuned into the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashanti Silva. On this week's episode, it's about Fletcher Henderson, his biography and best hits. During this hour, we're going to be talking about more of his best compositions. Here's a quick recap of what's coming up. First up, wrapping it up, number 2, Henderson's late 1930s evolution of his classic. Brass and reeds trade intricate call and response riffs, while solos flow seamlessly, keeping the orchestra tight and energized, full of theatrical flair and harmonic sophistication, a perfect snapshot of Harlem swing at its peak. Next, Swinging the Blues from 1933, blending bluesy melodies with big band drive. Alternating riffs, solo improvisation, dynamic rhythms mimic the buzz of a Harlem nightlife, balancing joy and melancholy in a way only Henderson could. Then comes Soft Winds, a 1935 gem of elegance. Gentle brass and reeds sway with flowing melodies, creating a serene, almost pastoral mood. Henderson shows his versatility, proving big band jazz could be lyrical as well as danceable. And you're tuned into the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashanti Silva. On this week's episode, it's about Fletcher Henderson, his biography and best hits. During this hour, we're going to be talking about more of his best compositions of all time. So let's start with wrapping it up, number 2, Henderson's late 1930s reimagining of his famous 1934 hit. While keeping the original's high energy drive, this version features even more intricate sectional interplay. Brass and reeds engage in complex call and response riffs, weaving around each other in thrilling patterns. Solo passages are integrated seamlessly, spotlighting improvisational skill while keeping the ensemble tight and cohesive. The title itself hints at its purpose, a high-energy finale perfect for Harlem dance halls. Although purely instrumental, the piece tells a story through dynamics and phrasing. Surging brass, playful reed sections, and rhythmic accents create a sense of theatrical excitement. Harmonically, Henderson experiments with extended chords and chromatic passing tones, reflecting his continued innovation in big band orchestration. So wrapping it up, number 2 is a vivid auditory snapshot of the Harlem swing era, bridging early jazz traditions with big band sophistication. Next up, Swinging the Blues from 1933, a quintessential example of blues-infused swing. Henderson's harmonic sensibilities shine through, giving emotional depth to the blues tonality, joy, melancholy, and everything in between. Soloists add their personal expression, balancing tight ensemble cohesion with improvisational freedom. Although instrumental, the music feels like a lively conversation on the dance floor. Historically, this piece illustrates Henderson's skill in translating blues phrasing into orchestrated big band arrangements, influencing later swing orchestras like Benny Goodman's orchestra. Up next, we have Soft Winds from 1935, a contrast to Henderson's energetic dance numbers. This piece highlights his lyrical and harmonic sophistication, featuring gentle interplay between brass and reeds and solos that provide expressive, almost conversational commentary. The title evokes flowing imagery. The music mirrors that with swaying rhythms and melodic contours, showcasing Henderson's versatility. Soft Winds influence arrangers seeking elegance within big band jazz, proving that swing orchestration could be both technically masterful and emotionally evocating. For listeners, it's a beautiful reminder that Henderson's art history extended beyond rhythm and dance. He could craft mood, imagery, and narrative. So from wrapping it up, number 2, to Swinging the Blues to Soft Winds, Fletcher Henderson's genius lies in his ability to tell stories, to evoke emotion, and create danceable magic, all without a single lyric. And this is the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashanti Silva. On this week's episode, it's about Fletcher Henderson, his biography, and best hits. We've come to an end of this week's episode of the Jazz Update, so now it's time to recap what we're discussing on today's program. Born in 1987 in Georgia, Henderson grew up steeped in classical and church music, thanks to a piano-teaching mother. That formal training followed him to Atlanta University and the Atlanta Conservatory, but everything changed when he moved to New York in 1920. Harlem was experiencing a jazz revolution, and Henderson became the key figure who figured out how to turn small group jazz into something bigger, bolder, and built for the dance floor. By the early 1920s, Henderson formed an orchestra that became the blueprint for the swing era. His collaborations with Louis Armstrong brought raw improvisation into title-written arrangements, and his charts, later used by Benny Goodman, helped ignite the swing revolution of the 1930s. So here are 5 essential Henderson compositions. King Porter Stop, his swing era reimagining of a Jelly Roll Morton tune. Wrapping it up, his pure high-energy swing designed to close the night with excitement and flair. Christopher Columbus delivers driving riffs and unstoppable momentum, a true dance hall classic. Down South Camp Meeting blends spiritual roots with big band sophistication, turning tradition into swing. And Sugarfoot Stomp shows Henderson's early genius, polyphonic, playful, and forward-thinking. Fletcher Henderson passed in 1952, but his legacy lives on every time a big band swings. And there was some insight into everything that we discussed on this week's episode of the Weekend Jazz Update with Jashanti Silva. And on that note, we've come to the end of this week's episode of the program. Don't forget, you can check out the archives of today's show on my YouTube channel, The Weekend Jazz Update with Jashan. So I'll see you again next week. Have a great week ahead.